Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I've got my dry farm wines. Anybody got their wine out there? I've got my sugar-free, low-carb dry farm wine. I want to talk to you guys just freely, answer some of your questions, say hello, see how you guys are doing. And we shall see. Facebook has me. Oh, that was fun. Somebody's going to have to tell me the spiritual meaning of 22. Because at 22 seconds in, we had 22 people live. That's interesting. Threes are usually my number, not twos. Got back from working out just a little bit ago and still working on being lean. And, some of you don't know my story. Some of you don't know that they gave me a year to live 4 times. Some of you don't know that just 3 years ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 years ago, I could not walk around my block hardly at all without pain. I would walk around just a typical neighborhood block and be in pain. And now I have abs. My abs are disappearing because I ate good tonight. And at 56, I can leg press 550 pounds for 12 reps and did 120 pounds on, that exercise that you go like this and you pull for your back? Yeah. So just kind of continuing to reinvent myself. I think one of the most healthiest things you can do right now is sweat daily. Sweat out all the toxins, release the trauma. I just thought I'd pop on here. And Tamara's having her tea with her gummies right on. I'm having my glass of wine. Just got done having some bison and some green beans and spinach and almonds. And in about 30 minutes, I will take my gummies as well and go dream with God. So I wanted to just, right on, Tamara. That's amazing. Amazing. Sometimes people talk to me like some of the convictions that I have just came out overnight, yet they gave me a year to live 4 times. And I have some of the best medical doctors in the world servicing me. My top doctor is a Romanian Jew who she used to run the largest emergency room in Manhattan, and now she runs a biohacking medical practice. She did my stem cells. She has me on peptide therapy. She does my bioidentical hormones and helped me when I was weaning off of all my medication. And some of you need to do some research on peptide therapy, specifically thymosin alpha and thymosin beta for autoimmune conditions. I actually have a new Instagram page with just my workouts and different things like that, where I'm sharing some of that and even thinking of creating a private Facebook group where I can help people. My doctor will help people. Cindy, I use Baked Bros THC gummies at night, use CBD during the day, sometimes a little sativa, and use THC at night. And you'll want to listen to my podcast where I had a 2-hour interview. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. You can actually even see the video on YouTube with Nadim Hassan, who is not even 30 and is the CEO of Baked Bros and has become a dear, dear friend. I told him he's adopted. He's now a spiritual son. And actually going to his house on Tuesday. He's quite the cook, like incredible. So I just thought that I would come on here and chit chat with you guys. Sorry that my makeup is all faded. It is true that I sweated my butt out today. I have a 36-inch box that I've been doing box jumps. And today I actually did step ups, where you step up and then you've got to literally stand up on there. I should bring my box on here one time. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even do those a month ago. My boyfriend actually trains MMA fighters, and he's actually going to take me into the ring and teach me how to box. So that ought to be good for my spiritual warfare. Anybody have any questions or anything that I can help you with? You know what? So many of you are like, oh my gosh, Sandi, what can I do for you? You know what you can do for me? You can go write a review on my podcast and share it with 10 people. I actually did a podcast today on small business owners and their rights and important things when we want to create jobs right now in this difficult season. I would love for you to listen to that, but there's a bunch of new podcasts. I'm actually going to be doing podcasts 2 to 3 times per week, and I'm even looking for great people that you would love for me to do a podcast with. So if you would like to give back, oh my gosh, that would mean so much to me. Go do a review, go share it. Marcy does kickboxing. Yes, so fun. What gummies? Actually, Loretta, I do THC gummies, and I would love to invite you to listen to my podcast, Christians and Cannabis. You'll love to hear some of the food, nutrition, and how I weaned off all opiates and prednisone and reverse aging. So yes, info on peptides. Some of the best info I ever saw on peptides was done by my friend Ben Greenfield on his website. BPC 57 actually helped me to heal a 60% tear in my, what is this in your, is it the labrum? No, I can't remember what it was. Probably because it's the end of the day and I'm a morning person. Talk to me at 4 a.m. and I have like 90% more brain power. Anyway, I can totally move that, totally healed. Now we're working on this shoulder. So, Kim, God actually supernaturally healed me from lupus. It's no longer even in my DNA test. I haven't had my titers raised since 2006. So in the name of Jesus, Kim, I release to you healing. God is not a respecter of persons, and he healed me, and that which he heals you in, he actually gives you authority in. So anybody struggling from fibromyalgia or lupus, in the name of Jesus, I release healing over you. Something I want to share with you, Jesse, about fibromyalgia. As you know, many doctors don't have any kind of clinical understanding for the acute pain that happens with fibromyalgia. I personally have a conviction that it is trauma trapped in the body, and I've done a lot of work to release trauma from a gang rape and sexual molestation as a little girl. And I would encourage you to get into my inner circle where you can read and go through all the training in the 8 hours on releasing trauma. I did not have bursitis in my shoulder. No. Is it the labrum? That's like right outside the rotator cuff. That was actually a 60% tear. Yes, fibromyalgia flares can be so bad, and especially with all the stress and trauma that's coming through the airways right now with all this pandemic. So, Kim, I would encourage you. That course was actually sold for $77, but you can actually get it in the inner circle for $27. And that will help you to know how to identify what the trauma is, what the triggers are, how to help your body heal. Yeah. So, hey, Audrey, good to meet you. Hello, hello. Got my Dry Farm wines. By the way, if you guys want to try Dry Farm wines, which is less than 1% sugar in every bottle, which is amazing. It doesn't mess up my fitness goals. It doesn't affect my gut. You can go to dryfarmwines.com/a real change, and they have a penny bottle offer for you. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. You're an inspiration, Jennifer. Good to meet you. Miranda, there you go. My favorite, I like the reds and whites. The reds still tend to be, I don't know if like with wine, you can say a little rich because it's actually still below 1% sugar, but it's still just a little bit too much for my gut. I like the white and the rosé, which is so wild because I never used to drink white or rosé, but there's no sugar in it, so it's amazing. Joseph, thank you from Uganda. We send blessings to Uganda. Dryfarmwines.com, Loretta, /a real change. Actually, I can probably type it in my comment, can I? Yeah, there you go. Dry Farm Wines special offer. I can actually do that. Oh, those of you who've been following me for a while know that anything after 3 p.m., Sandy's not who she is typically as she is in the morning. So even when I ran my copywriting firm for years, I wrote most of my clients' products and sales pages and emails and television commercials and billboards and magazine offers and all of that from 3 till 8 a.m. Morning is the time where I am just a total rooster, which is why my boyfriend teases me because he's an owl. And so at about 8:30, I'm like, good night. He calls me every night to say good night. By the way, men, a good morning call and a good night call or a text means everything. And we've been dating for 4 months now, and we actually have known each other for a little longer than that. But he always teases me because he's just like getting energy to wake up and do some research and all kinds of stuff with his companies and things he's been helping with our company. And I'm ready to go to sleep. And at 4 a.m., I get up at 4 a.m., Lakeisha, even without an alarm. There's nothing greater to me than just pouring my green tea or my bulletproof coffee and just sitting with God for an hour and a half in just complete silence. Tomorrow I have a photo shoot that starts at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I will be up at 3:30 because I want that time with God. Nothing does anything for me like that time with God. Sometimes I'll do cardio. I'm actually avoiding cardio right now because HIIT and Tabata type things actually burn more fat, and I am not interested in losing my booty or my muscle mass. So, but morning time, yeah. And some of, that's why a lot of times I'm asleep without any help by 8 or 9. Yeah. And on the weekends, I have to take a nap. So I can actually stay up a little bit. Kimberly, that's so amazing. Dr. John Hayes is just such a blessing. He's been a client of ours for a very long time, since like 2008 or before. Bulletproof coffee is, I actually use Kona organic coffee, where you put MCT oils or coconut oil. You can put G in it. I actually love a company as well. It's at strongcoffee.com, which has become my favorite. And so they have all kinds of great stuff in there for the brain and the body. And if you do intermittent fasting, I can still have that in the morning. I usually fast from 6 p.m. until 11 a.m. And it's just done amazing stuff for me. Yes. Anybody got any questions? I just wish they had a feature where I could bring you all up here. Like, seriously. Seriously, Facebook, you do it on Instagram. Why can't I do it now? It's actually strongcoffee.com. Let me see. And no, I do not have a link. I probably should, but I love it. And it's got MCTs and coconut oil and everything else in it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Is that the right one? Strongcoffee.com? I don't know if that's the right one. No, that is not it. Good Lord, I thought it was Strong Coffee. Anyway, go look up Strong Coffee on Instagram. I'm going to delete that. I don't do keto. I actually do about 150 to 200 grams of carbs a day. I had to do some reverse dieting to get my body used to that. I haven't lost a whole lot of weight, Sonia. When I first started weaning, I was a size 14, and I was 178 pounds when I first started weaning off of the prednisone and opiates. It was 178 at a size 14. Now I'm going to stand up and show you, not to brag or anything, but to show you muscle. Sonia, actually brag a little bit about my hard work and what you can do even at 56. So now I went from 178 to 156. No, 162 I was this morning. And I'm a size 10. Yep. So from 178 to 162... and I went from like 31% body fat to 18% body fat. Yeah. No more colored hair. I wear a lot of pink, but I'm really digging my blonde or gray. Actually, they did all of this with a high lift. Those of you who are hairstylists, no bleach at all. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it makes it really good for your hair. 56, Lakeisha. Yes, I am. I'll be 57 in March. Yes. Strong Coffee Company. Is that what it is? Let me see. Let me see if I can type that in. Strong Coffee Company. They are an amazing company out of Austin. And I really should get an affiliate link because I buy. Yeah, that's what it is. Amazing. I like the chocolate. Of course I do. I like my man and my sweets chocolate. My skincare routine. Thank you, Jolene. You're very gracious because right now my makeup's like a mess after sweating. I use Rodan and Fields. I've been using the Rodan and Fields system for about a year and a half now, and it's changed my life. I use it every morning and every night. I even use it on my neck, and I've never had a plump, a tuck, a surgery, a nothing. This is like all me, virgin skin. Peptide therapy actually will help you as well to produce more natural collagen, which is really good for your skin. And I've been drinking in 1.5 gallons of water every day since I was in my 20s. Thank you, Sandra. Yes, I do, Namie. And God blessed me with an amazing prophet. And he is a chocolate man. And he's a good man. And he loves God. And he's helping me to be a better woman. And I'm helping him to be a better man. And God is good. So you use thymosin alpha 4 and 1. Right on. And BPC 157, yes, is incredible. And CJC and ipamorelin is also really, really good in very minute doses for people who are over 50. Yes. Jolene, I absolutely love it. Rodan and Fields. Namie, I'm sending you a hug. Cheers. Is it Layla? Is that her name? Hi, Layla. Hello. I wish I could bring you on video. They do that on Instagram, but not on Facebook. Go figure. Maybe because Facebook likes to regulate everything. I did just say that. It's something, too, because when you hear my story, it's not that I'm reckless with healthcare, but you have to understand that I was given a year to live 4 times. And so I have no problem firing medical professionals when they don't serve me. I don't use just naturopath or whatever. My one doctor out of Manhattan, she ran an emergency room. She's an MD, and she gets a lot of her training from in Romania and Israel, which is way ahead of us on stuff. And yeah, so I'm very passionate about being responsible with what you choose for healthcare. By the way, I stopped vaccinating my children with my second child, who had a horrific, life-threatening reaction to it. And I even had doctors who told me it wouldn't be a good idea to vaccinate your kids with the autoimmune conditions. You have to be responsible either way. But I think it's really important that we understand how to support our immune system. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Who can I help? Tamara, you're funny. You can do it on your personal page? You can invite somebody on your screen? Well, if I can invite somebody on my screen here, somebody tell me how. I don't see how. What's my option on the COVID vaccine? I think it's from hell. Honestly, since when? No, I don't believe in vaccines at all. Not at all. And what's interesting is I think you need to make an educated decision. And if you're going to vaccinate or be against vaccination, you got to be responsible, especially if you're going to be anti-vaccines. And we live in a world of a lot of people are going to be vaccinated. You got to be responsible. I think I'm going to do a podcast on that because that's been my conviction for over 30 years and raising my children. And I think one of the things we need to understand is how to support our immune system rather than talking about whether or not I'm for the COVID vaccine. I'd like to ask people what you are doing to keep yourself at a healthy body weight, what you are doing to sweat every day, what you are doing to release trauma. One of the worst things for your immune system is to walk in hatred and bitterness. And so I'm amazed at how many people who are pro-vaccine who are walking around in hatred. Not to mention the Bible says that if you have hatred for your brother in you, the love of God is not in you. But that's not very popular to talk about. But Sandi really is not called by God or anointed to talk about things that are popular, because if I was, I would probably be dead, because in order to get where I am and to refute the 4 times they told me I had a year to live and to rebuild my life and be who God's called me to be, I had to seriously use my mind, do my own research, and get the best medical professionals in the world. Thank you, Julie. I think you're equally amazing. Yeah, I wonder, Sarah, because I'm on my desktop, and I wonder if that's what you have to do, is you have to be on your phone. We'll have to try that. I don't see video clipping questions. No polls. No. They have a whole new thing. Question: how do we protect our minds and personal freedom in the midst of massive governmental and change all around the world? Namie, great question. Please listen to my podcast today. And even if you're not a small business owner, I think it will be very helpful to you specifically with that question. I think it's very important to take every thought captive and know what you're fighting. I think it's important that you do not become someone who just takes any information and lets anyone speak over you. I think it's very important to guard your environment, to guard your mind. But I also think it's important that when you have convictions, to also understand what the opposing view is, because I don't hate someone who might be pro-vaccine when I'm against them. I don't hate someone who might be totally trusting the medical professionals and the government, and I'm like, I don't think so. I'm going to use my mind and think. But I think what's really important is to have respect for other people's convictions. When people say to me, oh my God, I'm so disappointed in you, I don't like you anymore, that basically means they need somebody who's stronger than themselves to think, because they refuse to. When you have convictions, the reality of a conviction and living out your beliefs is that someone else is going to have an opposing view, okay? Because of that, and to be honest with you, I don't believe that you actually have a conviction. I think you're a puppet if you haven't done your research. I think you're a puppet if you only do your research on what you believe and you're only doing your research to prove what you believe. You must understand both sides. That will give you respect, even if you have to have boundaries, even if your fellowship with people might go to a certain level. I take it very serious when the Bible says that if you have hatred for your brother, the love of God is not in you. So don't tell me you're disappointed in me, you don't like me anymore, and the love of God is in you. It's not my words, it's God's words. It actually takes a higher person, higher level person, to believe in their convictions and to still love somebody who disagrees with them. The more aggressive you get in fighting me about your convictions, you tell me you don't believe in your convictions. Because when you truly believe in your convictions and you're not puppeteering just what somebody said, like this expert said, and it resonated with me, so now it's my conviction. No, it's not. You're just echoing like a tape recorder. But when you truly have conviction, you've taken the time to research and you understand their opposing views. And as you know, that's when you can still have respect for people. Because quite frankly, let me say this loud to every single person who's disappointed in me, to every person who's upset about my convictions. These convictions aren't new. I've had them for years. But if God, the God of the universe, gives free will to choose I almost said it. Who the hell are you to tell someone that I've had people tell me I should die. I've had people tell me I should kill myself for some of the things I believe. Be very careful practicing witchcraft like that, telling people what they should believe and hating them if they don't agree with you, because you're bringing a curse on your life. Life and death is in the power of your tongue, and you will eat the fruit of it. I will eat the fruit of my tongue. And the more you have to force yourself on someone else, the more you prove to me you have no convictions and you're a puppet. And it's scary being a puppet, because you go to bed with fear at night and you wake up in the morning looking for someone who agrees with you. But when you really have conviction, you take the time to research it. You see other points of view. You can even respect where people are in different points of view. And you can love people where they're at because you know what your conviction is. That is when the love of God is in you. Yeah. Oh, I've had some crazy things that people said. Well, that's because most social media influencers and people who impact more than 3 million people every week, like we do organically on this page, typically build that page for popularity. They cater to what people want. They basically prostituted themselves to create something that people love, and they have to create a persona most of the time. Unfortunately, that's not why I started this. God called me to business and he called me to speak truth. And I didn't get here because some doctor saved my life. Even my doctor said that. I didn't get here because I'm a part of some church. I got here because I've used what God's given me. I'm also very acutely aware where I suck. I'm very aware of my own weaknesses. And I think power under control, which is what meekness is. So when I see women going from Facebook page to Facebook page, Instagram post to Instagram post, cursing and judging other people, I know that there's usually a very afraid woman who doesn't feel protected, who many times is trying to control everything and feels completely out of control on the other side of that screen. And I know what that's like. When I lived with someone who was very abusive, I also used to feel like that. And so I have a lot of grace for that, but I have no tolerance for it. I talked about sweating and real sweat. Well, when you work out, quite frankly, I think you should sweat. It's one of the best ways to detoxify. I live in Arizona, where right now, even at 7:30 p.m., it is 108 degrees. So, sweating is the best way to detoxify. I have my own built-in sauna here where I live. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. I'm called to teach secondarily. I'm called to activate as an apostle primarily. Strength under control is humility. And ladies, can I talk to you about something, just a heart to heart? I want to encourage you. I'm going to type it in the link in the comments. Understandmen.com. Allison Armstrong is someone that I have been very fortunate. I want to have her on my podcast to study under for almost a year and a half now. And she has really changed my life. And something that is very important to me is raising up women who make a commitment to stop emasculating men. We have a society that emasculates boys from kindergarten up. And many women don't even realize how they're emasculating men. Many women relate to men like they're hairy men or like they're a female with a penis. And they are not. We were wired by God to be very different. And that is why to cohabitate, to co-create, and to submit one to another takes a serious supernatural act. And what something is, when you understand what a gift it is in your life to have strong men in your life, even if you're single, God will send strong men in your life. And I don't mean necessarily people you're dating, that he will use to protect you and encourage you. One of the things that's super important, I see a lot of women trying to be independent on the internet. And yet they're the first ones to start argument. They walk in a spirit of offense. They argue with people. They go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about their posts. Ladies, that is going to tear down your supply of estrogen. That's going to tear down your femininity. Let it be known and let it be written, I am not a feminist. I am an independent, powerfully anointed Christian. I am a tongue-talking, gun-carrying, Bible-thumping, often swearing woman of God. And I am very thankful for the godly man that God brought into my life. I am a modern woman with a lot of old-fashioned values, and I am so grateful for all the companies that I created, and I'm also very grateful that God has answered the desire of my heart. And I look forward to one day when I will have a husband that I can pour into and use my gifts to help him succeed. So ladies, I want to encourage you to check out Understand Men. And if you feel like you have not been able to find that king that is for you, I want to encourage you more than anything else. Work on yourself, learn your identity, learn what your value is as a woman. For the Bible says that it is a good thing when a man finds a wife. And I think it's really important that we begin raising up daughters who honor men and sons who honor women, and that we stop trying to make each other like each other and we start learning to cohabitate together. Yeah, that's very, very important to me. So, anybody have any questions? I am so honored that there are over 300 of you still on here with me for a half hour. What an honor. I don't take it lightly that you would even pay attention to me, that you would even comment on me, on anything I post, that you would encourage me, pray for me. I'm so grateful that we're connected. I don't have a vocal coach, Miranda. Sometimes I'm calming and sometimes I'm not. Depends whether or not the warrior or the mama is going to speak. So, but thank you. You're sweet. That's right, Chris. Can't have lazy and wimpy Christians. That's it. We are both called to be warriors. And a warrior primal man will not try to destroy a warrior primal woman. We need each other. When we are together, co-creating together, cohabitating together, we are unstoppable and the devil is terrified and having a nervous breakdown. Question, Amy says, what's the biggest lesson you've learned about interacting with men in relationships? The biggest thing that I've learned, it's something because I filed for a divorce in the beginning of 2015. The divorce wasn't final till 2017. What a nightmare. But I worked on myself more than anything else. I didn't even go on a date till the end of 2017. And the one thing that I learned is that men are incredible. They really are. And men have a God-given desire to make women happy. And I've learned that for a man to feel understood is such an incredible thing for him. And I love that the name of the book is The Queen's Code, Lisa, but the website is understandmen.com. I've learned a lot from a lot of the men that I've learned. I'm so grateful for my spiritual sons. I'm grateful for men who pour into my life every day. I'm grateful for the different men that I've had the opportunity to date and get to know. I'm very grateful for the man that I'm in a serious relationship right now and building something that we're dreaming about together. I guess, Naomi, since you asked me what's the number one thing I had learned from men, is that they're not hairy women and that they're incredible. Yeah. And that it breaks a man's heart when you think that he has done something intentionally to hurt you, when actually he just thinks very differently than you. Most of what men do, they don't mean to do intentionally. And when you understand that, you'll begin to look at men very differently. Yes, the Queen's Code, very incredible. Somebody write Allison. I've been writing her. I don't know that her team saw it, but oh my gosh, I want to get her on my podcast. So New Zealand, is that what that is, Louise? Right on. I've also learned that women are incredible, that we're wired differently. Men have single train of thought. They're hunters. Women have diffuse awareness. We're gatherers. The reason we're allowed to shift and move quickly and do multiple things at one time is because long ago, when our men were out hunting and that, we had to be aware of the danger that was coming around our hut, as well as taking care of our children, as well as cooking and stuff like that. And that is in our DNA from God. And it's very different. Men are not hairy women, and men are not women with a penis. No, they're not. So I'm telling you, yes, I am writing a book, Chris. It was something because when I filed for a divorce, I was talking to my spiritual mom, and I said, in 5 years, I'm going to write a book for women. It's 5 years. I'm actually working on a booklet, if you will. It's 100 pages right now. And are you thinking or are you sleeping? But I have right here in my notebook the book that I'm writing for women. I've got all kinds of titles. Women, the most influential force on the planet. It's true. Women, God's gift for restoration. Women, the powerful warrior. Or women, a force to be reckoned with. I don't know what the heck the title is going to be yet. But some of the chapters that I have in my book is called The War Against Women, The Reaction to Oppression, which is what I believe feminism is. I believe it was a reaction to oppression. Another chapter is meekness. It's not what you thought or have been taught. Feeling like a failure, subduing my inner bitch. That is something women need to understand. Inside of you is the perfect ideal woman, and she's a bitch. And she constantly makes you feel like you don't measure up. That is one of the major battles that we have as women. Single and Powerful is a chapter, learning to be powerful without proving a thing. Surrender, a lethal force that women can carry. Marriage, co-creating with men. Children, sending arrows into the world. Business and ministry, extending our hands. I'm still working on it. So What do I do with flare-ups with fibro? I would encourage you, Jesse, to get in my inner circle even for just 1 month and go to the 8-hour training on releasing trauma that I have. Caitlin, yes, we have to subdue her. I was telling my boyfriend the other day, I was like, baby, there's a war within my members. It's not funny. I was crying when I was saying it. It was like, there's a war within my members to want to dominate. And I don't want to. I don't want to dominate. But that inner bitch inside of me, the only way that I know how to slay that inner bitch is to submit to God. Yeah. Not even submit to a man first. No, you got to submit to God. And here's the thing. Submit is a scary word to women who've been abused. I know. I was abused. Brianne, you can actually sign up for the copywriting courses in my inner circle. And how do you find my podcast, Stephanie? You can find them on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, anywhere where you can find podcasts. The 8-hour trauma video series, Frank, is in my inner circle. So the inner circle right now is 75% off if you use this coupon, 75 now. And it'll be $27 for every month. I'm in there 12 hours a month, and there's over 500 hours of training in my vault. So, yes, name me. It's actually on iTunes. It's pretty much anywhere. So, and I don't have it all figured out. I know that for a fact, and I'm still learning. And I'm very grateful for a man who isn't put off by powerful women, and he's very grateful for me as much as I am him, and he gives grace to me. I'm so sorry that you think I'm too aggressive and unappealing. Bless you, Jean Marie. Let me help you find the unlike button. You be you and I'll be me. All right, my friends. I hope you have a good night. And I'm going to go because I just realized in 15 minutes my honey's going to call to say goodnight. And I'm going to go finish my wine and take off my makeup and have my gummy and go dream with God. I look forward to talking to you soon. Don't ever forget who you are. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.